Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. In today's video, I will be discussing Bitcoin, Ethereum, Orchid, as well as CGLD, also known as CELO. And just so you guys know, there is a lot of news of stuff related to Bitcoin. So I'm going to try and go through that as quickly as I can. But yeah, there's actually quite a bit of stuff to talk about today with that. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button. Let's try to get to 50 likes at least on this video, just like every video. It only takes you guys a quarter of a second. It really does help me out a lot. It means a lot to me if you do that. And also click the bell icon so you know whenever we have a new video. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about everything that we're discussing today. If there's anything that I missed out on that you also think is important, all that good stuff. Quick side note, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do not ask me directly for financial advice. If you want opinions on things, that's a different story, but I can't tell you guys what you should or should not invest in, and take everything I say with a grain of salt. When I do this technical analysis, I've been studying charts for quite a while, but I'm not registered legally yet as a financial advisor. I'm thinking about doing it in the future. I've been thinking about it a little bit more recently, but I just wanted to clarify that for all of you guys that are out there. But let's go into the news first, and then we're going to take a look at the actual charts. Bitcoin is braced for a huge $4 billion price earthquake this week. Now, with excitement building ahead of a hotly anticipated virtual Bitcoin corporate strategy summit in the first week of February, which is supposed to be headed by MicroStrategy, which is really exciting. A record near $4 billion worth of Bitcoin options are set to expire this Friday, January 29th. Bitcoin options contracts, which allow investors to buy or sell the cryptocurrency at a specified price within a set time period, worth around 107,000 Bitcoin or $3.5 billion at today's prices, will expire on Friday, according to data from cryptocurrency analytics provider Bybit.com. This coming options expiry is significantly more than the previous $2.4 billion record set in late December. All right, so let me just go ahead and kind of touch base on this. Whenever these Bitcoin option contracts come up at the end of the month, we keep hearing about like all these crazy numbers, and I've been hearing it for a while now. And what does it exactly mean? Does it mean that we're going to see huge price fluctuations? No, it doesn't guarantee anything. There were months last year where it said that there's huge, crazy numbers. We could see all kinds of volatility. And then nothing happened. The price stayed the same price, right? So it's back and forth action and then just remain neutral. It could go really high one direction, it could go really low one direction, or it could do absolutely nothing. So yeah, there's a lot that's in play here, don't get me wrong, and it is a lot of perspective views of people thinking that it's going to be going up. As we saw, there was about a 20% chance of the end of the month. The forecasts were suggesting that we could see $50,000 for Bitcoin, as it is now the 25th, and today Bitcoin is at $32,473 as of the time of me looking on the chart when I'm making this video. It's still got quite a ways to go. We're about a 20% level below the previous all-time high of just $42,000, and that's not even including if we're trying to go all the way up to $50,000. So there's quite a hurdle that we need to get over to be able to get up to 50K, and to push it for the end of this month, it's going to need to start rallying every day at this point. So the question of whether or not it's going to be doing that is going to be a big question, and how everything reacts to it coming up here pretty soon. But more major institutional investors are coming in with this kind of stuff with crypto, which is very exciting. And I'll go ahead and go into that next. We'll talk about that in a minute. Crypto miner Marathon Patent Group pours $150 million into Bitcoin as the token pulls back from record highs. Marathon Patent Group announced the purchase 4,812.66 Bitcoin on Monday. The transaction, handled by NYDIG, was worth $150 million. By the end of the first quarter of 2022, Bitcoin miner Marathon expects to own and operate over 100,000 Bitcoin miners. That's a lot of mining machines, right? Now, if I remember correctly, if you own 2 Bitcoin mining machines and you had a sufficient electrical price range, I think it's like around 4 cents for the average on that per hour, right? If I remember, then that would equate to about 1 Bitcoin per year. So if that number I'm thinking in my head is correct, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but if that is correct, then we could be seeing them potentially getting about 50,000 Bitcoin per year, which, I mean, these are a lot of mining machines, right? So correct me if I'm wrong on those numbers, but I think potentially they could be getting around 50,000 Bitcoin over the course of 1 year period. Now, keep in mind the hash rate changes too. That's another factor to come in. More miners come into play and stuff like that. But given basic trends, that's a lot of Bitcoin. That is a lot of Bitcoin. That's a lot of mining machines. Okay, spectacular bust for stocks. 5 things to watch in Bitcoin this week. Couple things here. Stocks face a spectacular bust, and this could also potentially affect that of crypto as well. So the open spigot money renting position is nonetheless cause for concern among both Bitcoin proponents and more critical traditional market players. Last week, Jeremy Grantham, CEO of asset management giant GMO, flatly warned that stocks were in a bubble and that stimulus would only make it worse. Now, to be fair, we've been in a bubble for a long time now, even with all this extra printing that happened with the Federal Reserve from last year. People have been calling for this bubble to pop, including Warren Buffett, since like August, November period of last year. It's been going on for quite a while. Of course, the bubble gets bigger, the bigger the pop potentially. A lot of people were expecting a dead cat bounce. I was too, and it didn't happen. The good times, he warned, could last as little as a few weeks. We will have a few weeks of extra money and a few weeks of putting your last desperate chips into the game, and then an even more spectacular bust, he predicted in a Bloomberg interview. When you have reached this level of obvious super enthusiasm, the bubble has always, without exception, broken in the next few months, not a few years. Dollar seen higher in short term. The US dollar currency index, DXY, which pits the dollar against a basket of major trading partner currencies, came down from recent gains to test support at 90 once again, as you guys can see on this chart right here. So the value of the dollar is essentially increasing in comparison to that of other currencies that are out there. So the strengthening of the dollar means that there's more sentiment behind the idea of the dollar of being safe. Right? A lot of people go to gold, other precious metals, other investments, including cryptocurrencies, as safe haven assets when they see the value of the dollar weakening. So if the dollar is strengthening, then people might say like, well, I don't necessarily need to. And then other people, when it starts going down, they start freaking out. Oh my God, dollar's going to go away. JP Morgan, BTC institutional demand not strong enough. At the moment, the institutional flow impulse behind the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is not strong enough for Bitcoin to break out above $40,000. It reads as quoted by Bloomberg. So they are largely speculating that it needs to go above the $40,000 range again sometime soon. Otherwise, people are going to start to lose interest in it and they're going to start taking profits now. And that's just going to cause a cascading effect to have it reverberate back into previous sub $30,000 range and potentially under 25K range. Although 25K seems to be honestly like a major level of support right now. But aside from that, we also have the $31,000 range. Just recently, we dabbled down into 29K. I think it was technically 28,987 or 887, something like that. But yeah, 31,000 is a strong bounce as we are still holding above $30,000. So as of the most recent positions, this is a key level to be taking a look at. Ethereum clips new all-time high, which is absolutely amazing, especially for an altcoin perspective. And seeing how Ethereum is going to continue to move on with that. And speaking of what's going on with Ethereum, Bitcoin price rises as second biggest cryptocurrency. Ether hits all-time high. Bitcoin rose more than 7.4% in the last 24 hours to trade around $34,807, looking to recover from steep losses last week. Ether, the world's second biggest cryptocurrency, notched a new all-time high of $1,476 early Monday morning. After quadrupling last year, Bitcoin has had a wild start to 2021, climbing to $40,000 for the first time earlier this month. So absolutely making some moves. A quick glance at price chart shows that declines at least as large as last week's 9.9% retreat have happened 9 times in the past 2 years. And this is in regards to Bitcoin. Let me clarify that. So have had at least 9 times. Not at least. I mean, it happened 9 times where it was at least 9.9% in the last 2 years. So to say like, hey, we hit 42,000, look at how much you're retraced already. Like, it's done, it's over, game's over. Like, no, get that out of your mind. It's happened 9 times in just 2 years. And when we had the major bull run, that was actually in 2017 to 2018, that final rally with its big push. Technically, it was really starting to make some moves around 2016, right? And a lot of people are associating, saying like we're actually in like the 2016 period with where we're currently at on this rise up. While 10% plus drawdowns shake conviction, these moves have been met with strong bids. Delphi Digital, a cryptocurrency analysis firm, told clients Friday in a note, shaking out profit takers and weak hands is necessary for Bitcoin to make strides upwards. Next up, DDoS attackers returning with massive extortion campaigns in the wake of Bitcoin prices surging. So be very cautious with things, guys. And if you don't already use a VPN on your computer, they're not really that hard to set up. There's lots of different options that are out there. You could also, if you want to get involved with crypto, I'm a big supporter of Orchid as far as like their cryptocurrency, their development of what they got and things. I believe that outside of VPN, they've got a much bigger, broad market that they can dabble into. But hey, if you want to do a cryptocurrency VPN approach, then look into Orchid, aka OXT. And if you don't want to do that and you just want to get a standard VPN, like, you know, having a VPN in general is still really good. But talking about this, they have these quotes of what they've been sending out to people. Things like, we asked for 10 Bitcoin to be paid to avoid getting your whole network DDoS. It's a long time overdue and we did not receive payment. Why? What is wrong? Do you think you can mitigate our attacks? Do you think that it was a prank or that we will just give up? In any case, you are wrong. And other points, they say, we will be kind and will not increase your fee, right? And this is because the price of Bitcoin has shot up a lot since it was at $10,000 when those submissions will be sent out. Actually, since the Bitcoin price went up for over 100% since the last time, we will temporarily decrease the fee to 5 Bitcoin. Temporarily, yes, pay us 5 Bitcoin and we are gone. Continuation, ransom, DDoS or DDoS extortion campaigns have traditionally been a seasonal event. They would run annually for a few weeks, targeting specific industries, companies, before the threat actor or actors would typically give up. The 2020 to 2021 global ransom DDoS campaign represents a strategic shift from these tactics. DDoS extortion has now become an integral part of the threat landscape for organizations across nearly every industry since the middle of 2020. A security firm spotted 3 malicious crypto apps. A security firm spotted 3 malicious crypto apps targeting users to steal their funds. So be careful with what kind of apps that you download, right? Now you got major exchange stuff like Coinbase or Kraken as an app, but be careful if you're looking at all these other things because you're hoping to get in some really good sounding project, but it doesn't have a good reputation. There's not a lot of info out there about it. Like, you could be opening up a back doorway for you that could cause a whole other slew of problems way worse than the little bit that you were potentially hoping to gain. As basically like a lottery ticket. Next up, Stratum V2 promises to further decentralize Bitcoin. Really good news with this. Stratum V2 is an upgrade to the Bitcoin mining stack that aims to help miners as small as hobbyists with a few bits of ASIC mining equipment to have a more flexible and censorship-resistant route to communicating with mining pools. It takes the ideas of better hash and implements a few more improvements on top and differences. Stratum V2 is being supported by Slush Pool, a mining pool with more than 1.2 million Bitcoin mined since 2010 and the largest non-Chinese based Bitcoin mining pool. Its open source protocol called Stratum V1 is now used by most mining pools now. Brains, the parent organization, also offers open source mining firmware and so helps miners throughout the mining value chain. Stratum V2 allows individual miners within a mining pool to choose their own blocks to mine rather than having to mine the one a pool proposes for them, while still benefiting from a more stable aggregation of mining rewards so they can defray volatility. Instead of the current paradigm of the pool offering a incomplete block template that an individual miner has to accept, now miners can optionally choose the blocks they want to mine and send it back up to the pool. Stratum V2 also provides a bunch of different technical upgrades, from switching to JSON for communication to binary to make communications more seamless, to reducing redundant communications between pools and individual miners, to cryptographic authentication that allows you to prevent man-in-the-middle attacks such as your ISP stealing your hash power. In other words, Stratum V2, if adapted widely, would be able to abstract away a key trade-off for miners looking to join a mining pool between the surety of incoming flows and the need to play by the underlying rules imposed by a pool. So very cool information behind that. Another thing is that there's a lot of nonprofit organizations out there, right? I never even thought about this. Imagine them getting involved with that of Bitcoin. So here's some suggestions of why it could actually be really good for nonprofits. Nonprofits are prudent to have savings. Most nonprofits have been between 3 months and up to 1 year savings set aside. According to a Cambridge University study from last year, the estimated user base for cryptocurrencies, of which Bitcoin is the largest, is around 101 million people, right? The amount of users. I mean, I guess you could have one person have multiple users. So anyways, 101 million, still a big number regardless. This number is growing by the day and explosively so. There is no reason why your nonprofit should not open its account to receiving Bitcoin or other crypto donations. And that's the other thing, is that 101 million number is continuing to grow. It's not staying the same, it's growing. In 2021, the legacy banking system still charges outrageous fees for merely updating some digital numbers in an account. One can circumvent this with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's fees are a fraction of the typical international transaction fees. If you hold Bitcoin yourself, you can even set your own fees in light of the transaction's speed. Think about that. Very important key element. All right, give me 1 second here. I'm still recovering from a cold. I'm almost out of it, but I'm not quite fully out of the cold zone yet. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the charts. So we got Bitcoin, Ethereum, we got Orchid, and we got CGLD, and I'm going to try and plow through these pretty darn fast for you guys, okay? So take a look at the chart here. You might see a lot of stuff going on, especially if you've never been on my channel. But first off, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the thumbs up like button. Let's try to get to 50 likes, at least on this video. And also, click the bell icon so you know what's going on whenever we have a new video. I'm on Twitter, by the way, at AtlasOfficialTV, if you want to check me out, at AtlasOfficialTV. And I have a Discord group. My Discord's just Atlas. I was a partner before. Luckily, I still got to keep that. So it's discord.gg/Atlas. Come in and say hi if you want. And yeah, so go ahead and take a look at this on the daily chart here. You can see that yesterday we did have a very interesting day. I mean, it shot all the way up to $34,900, passing the 21 EMA, suggesting that maybe we're coming back into an actual bull market. Got very close to the top level of resistance that we have set up here, and then it pulled back. So that was a big gain candle, and it retraced, went all the way down, and actually ended slightly in the red. After all of that, all that selling pressure just came right on back. But we did have the good news about that other company I mentioned earlier. I forgot it right now at the top of my head, that just bought a bunch of Bitcoin, like 4,000 something Bitcoin. Now on the daily candle position, we're about 37 minutes into the 4 o'clock, the new daily, as of the time of me recording this video, and we are looking in the green. There was some selling pressure immediately that was taking off, going down, and we have a key level of support I'd be looking at $32,000 from a psychological standpoint, mainly 31,000 according to that article we were talking about earlier on the daily position. Yeah, looking at right now, it's just slightly above $31,000, right? So very, very, very important key point. In fact, if I even scroll down, it's just basically like right underneath. So $30,000 is a significant level of support for a variety of reasons. And if it drops down further below that, then we have on the Fibonacci retracement, the 0.5 level, that would actually be, why is that angled so weird like that? That would be at approximately $29,900, so another $100 decrease from that position, and then another major level further drop would be at the 0.382, going all the way down to potentially $27,000, and then I would really be looking at around $25,000, and then anything further below that on a daily would just be ridiculous. So I'm not even going to bother trying to go that much further because there's too many numbers to be thrown at you guys already. Let's just be honest with that. On the daily position, coming up very close on the Fibonacci retracement, the 0.618 level. You see that it did get close, not quite there yet. It is in the green on the daily position, but there was a little bit of a fight action. If it does go up to that level, we're probably going to see some resistance at $32,786. A further level up at $33,347. If it can hit the 21 EMA, that's at $33,526. And then a major level zone, which is actually almost coinciding on the dot with where yesterday's candle had peaked at $34,900. So if it breaks $34,900, it would not only pass what we had from the previous daily candle position, it would also break above our level of resistance. That would be quite a substantial daily gain though. So those concerns are always that if we move too fast, that there typically is a pump and dump situation and that it's going to end up retracing further back down. So this is our starting position right here, and as we were talking about, if it manages to go up and hit that zone, we're talking about an 8.28% increase just to get to the 21 EMA from the opening daily candle position. And if it decides it wants to push towards, say, a 10% increase, that 10% would actually put us almost right on line with where the previous candle position from January 21st had started. And we have seen 10% moves before. In fact, the decline that took place with this one right here went from, that went down 13%. So a decline of 13% in one day is potential. An increase of 10% is potential. Heck, if it went up 13% on the daily candle position, that would put it all the way up to $36,450. And in a single day, not only would that be a significant move, but that now puts us much closer towards trying to get to that $50,000 range. Now, if you take a look at the chart here, you can also see all these purple lines. That's based on a hypothetical situation given the previous trend when it started to rally, if it wanted to replicate that rally once again, and how that would kind of play out. So we have a ways to go from where we're at just to get back on track to that road of previous trend, trying to get to $100,000. You could have days that are much more significant. Obviously, there's pullbacks that you guys can see here. It's not just a straight line, but it forms a general consensus on this road, and that would put $100,000 right around the end of April, right? So let's see if it's actually possible. We got a long way to go, though. If it decides that it wants to continue on at this current rate, you can see we're in essentially a consolidated zone right here. Then we would have all the way up to around February 2nd before it would need to make a key decisive move. These next several days, or roughly a week or so, of moving sideways could be very profitable for Ethereum and the altcoin market, but it needs to stabilize itself and make some moves. So if Bitcoin becomes too volatile and it starts dropping too heavily, it does affect Ethereum still. It still affects the altcoins, and it is what it is, right? So essentially, it's almost like Bitcoin's got to either stay slightly positive or just barely do anything and let Ethereum just keep all the limelight for that. If Bitcoin starts to rally up really well, going up, we could see Ethereum also start to push and the altcoins, but then the sell-off also tends to take place as people start to take their profits from the altcoins and then pump it into Bitcoin, and increasing its market dominance even more. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next coin, Ethereum. I'm going to try and keep these other ones pretty short because we're already getting pretty long into the video. Even shorter than what we did with Bitcoin. Okay, so Ethereum is forming potentially a double top pattern right here, seeing how this is going to position itself. If it comes down and then moves sideways, we might even have the formation of a head and shoulders pattern, which would be a bearish sign, not good. But right now it did pass yesterday above $1,477, which hit its all-time high. It is on the green daily candle position. Even though it hit the all-time high yesterday, it technically ended in the red. So very interesting when you think about it. Daily all-time high, but also daily lower close than it was the day before. So wrap your brain around that. Ethereum is making some moves back up. We got a level resistance at 1,420. First off, like we did before, then break above 1,440, $1,480 approximately the new all-time high. We're getting close to $1,500. Breaking above $1,500 is realistically going to be a $50, $100 increment on our way up, trying to get to $2,000. If it decides it wants to drop down, we have $1,283 as a key level of support, another level at $1,233, and then $1,200. A further breakdown, even further, we could see at $1,137, and then obviously going down to $1,000 is going to be very, very significant as well. Now let's take a look at Orchid. Orchid had a huge green candle up, and guess what? Then it retraced everything back down. Essentially what we saw with Bitcoin. So although it keeps trying to break above 30 cents and stabilize itself, especially the 33 cent, which seems to be the most hard position for it to try and not only break above, but to maintain itself, 33 cents is a big level of resistance right now. 30 cents and establishing itself and closing above that. So it's got some work it needs to do for sure. Massive gains, massive sell-off, big pump and dump, and it just happens over and over again with Orchid. It's very frustrating it keeps doing that because it's a great project. Hopefully they're going to have some news soon of some new stuff that they're doing. I really hope that they expand out of VPNs very soon. And if it decides it wants to drop down, we have 28 cents or 0.2816 as a key level of support. Further decline down, look around 26 cents or 0.2634. If it breaks up above, let's get above 30 cents or roughly around 0.3047. Further continuation up, getting above 33 cents up into the higher Fibonacci levels. We'd be around 0.3382. And then that's actually giving us potential track to go back towards 40 cents. And that could actually be where the big massive boom really starts to take place. But let's close out a day above 33 cents, at least one. Realistically, if I could get 3 days of closure above 33 cents, I feel pretty dang confident that we're now looking at 40 cents on up. And let's go ahead and take a look now at CGLD. Last one. On the rise yesterday, nice gains. Daily position still having some pretty nice gains. Managed to break above the 0.618 on the Fibonacci retracement and had hit a high yesterday of $3.45. On the daily today, even went up to $3.38, still showing some strong signs. Right now, I'd be looking at a level of support right here at $3.19 because of the Fibonacci retracement, a further continuation down. Then we're then looking at right around $2.85. A further level drop down would be at $2.51. And then at the 21 EMA is $2.46. And if we dropped that low, that would essentially invalidate most of this candle that had taken place on January 21st. If it was to fully invalidate it, it would have to go all the way down to $2.22. And then an actual breakdown to the 0.236 on the Fibonacci would send it all the way down to $2.10. So there's significant moves to be made here. You can actually see that with the substantial candle position that had moved yesterday, and retrospect, the volume wasn't all that significant as compared to, say, January 21st or January 22nd. It is overall still higher than most of the candle positions that we are seeing over here with CGLD. So there's plenty of room to potentially move on this, but it's also proving itself to be in a very volatile position. However, it is showing strong signs of a rally. Next major zone I'd be really looking at, guys, is around $4 as a major stepping stone. Then $4.31, as you guys can see here. And then $5, obviously, is a big stepping stone as well. So you guys let me know what you thought about everything we said today. If you guys are new to the channel, once again, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, like button. Let's get to 50 likes on this video. Also click the bell icon so you can stay up to date for the latest cryptocurrency news and technical analysis, and drop a comment down below. Tell me what you guys thought about everything. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode.